It's Paul again from licensetopass.com, your premier choice for all the books, for all the tests, for all the construction industry in the state of Florida. And now you're home for free test prep. So buy our books. All right, we're talking now again about the business and finance test. Oh, you can email me at licensetopass@gmail.com. Ask me any questions, I'll teach that too. 4 books in the business and finance test. One of them is the Florida statutes. I've got the 2021 version. No, I've got the 2022 version. I was right the first time. I have 2021. You can have the 2022. There were no changes in this section, but that's what you need. That's one of them. It looks like this from us. Another one is the Florida Contractors Manual. Third one is the Builder's Guide to Accounting. And the fourth one, and I don't have the documents with me right now, so I'll have to come back around to those, I apologize, is 3 documents from the American Institute of Architects, AIA. It is the A201, A401, and A701. Those are the 3. We're going to start today with, I'm going to show you how to make up a problem, solve it, and then check it to see if it's a good problem. And we may try to make up a problem and we're going to find that the first one isn't a good choice, and I'll explain why. Alright, before we start doing that, the first thing you have to do is pick a book to find the answer. Because I'm really recommended that you only use 1 minute to do a pre-check of the problem before you go ahead and invest your whole 3.5 minutes in it. Alright, so you got to be aware of time, because otherwise you can get way behind. You need a 70, so you can get a bunch of them wrong. You can get 30%. You can get 36 problems wrong and still pass the test. You can't get 37. Alright, 4 books. If the question says, according to Florida statutes, or according to Florida law, it's going to be in the Florida statute. It's going to be in a book like that. If it says in an agreement between an architect and a general manager, general contractor, or if it says the appropriate way to instruct bidders how to present a bid, if it says something about in the relationship between a subcontractor and a contractor, or a contractor and an architect, or an architect and a builder, no, an architect and an owner, any of those things, it's going to be in one of the 3 AIA documents. Alright? There's a slim possibility that you could also find it, or you could find it in the Florida Contractors Manual, but it's vanishingly small. And if it's there, well, they got you. And that's one you should guess on. Because if you guess, it's a 25% chance of getting it right. And so if you've got 12 problems that you have to guess, you're probably going to get 3 of them right. And you only need 36 altogether. Alright, if it's something about accounting methods, best practices in accounting, when general ledger, supply chain management, questions like that, taxes, withholdings, garnishment, that's a bad choice. It's not, don't do garnishment. Alright, if it's any of those other things that sound like accounting, look here first. Okay, so that's 3. The fourth one, so the first 3 are pretty easy to guess. If it's about a state law, it's the one with state laws. If it's about accounting, it's the accounting book. If it's one about agreements and documentation between the different people that are running the contract, that's in the AIA documents. If it's anything else, it's going to be here. So, first of all, this book, as I mentioned in the last video, has 10 chapters. Yoink. I'm going to take a picture of this and stick it in the video. So probably right now you're hearing me talk and not looking at me. It's taking me too long. So that's the page. So I've taken a picture of that. I'm going to include that in the video. So now I'm going to open the book. That looks like a boring page. This looks like too crazy of a page. So I just opened to page 4-7. I'm taking a picture of this page. 4-7, which is in the risk management chapter. So this is 4-7 risk management. And I'm going to say, I just look in the middle of the page and it says business automobile insurance protects the organization from losses to owned or leased licensed motor vehicles due to losses involving, and it gives two choices. One of them is collision with another object or vehicle overturned. Another one is comprehensive coverage losses, which apply to all losses other than collision or overturn, blah, 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 with exclusions, all right? So a likely test question from this thing right here is, the question is, what does business automobile insurance protect the organization from? Or what losses to the owned or leased licensed motor vehicle is the organization protected from using business automotive insurance? There'll be a question something like that. So one of the answer is A, collision. Another one, now we got to make up 3 of them that are wrong but that don't sound too wrong, right? To make up a test question that makes sense for you to try. Although really the exercise of finding the right answer is what you're going to need. But if I'm writing a test question, if it's in risk management, I'll say collision with another object or vehicle overturn. And the second one I'm going to say everything. And the third one is going to say drunk driving citation to the driver. And the fourth one would be, I have to edit the blank space. It does take a minute to think of answers for these. I haven't figured out the fourth one yet. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So it's page 4-7, that's in the risk management chapter. All right? So, and I said the question was, what losses to owned or leased licensed fees are protected by biz insurance. So now I read the question. The question says, what losses to owned or leased licensed motor vehicles are the owners protected for by business automotive insurance? All right? So I'm talking about losses. That's not going to be that maybe is in accounting, but I don't think so. It's not in the Florida statutes because that's too specific. It's not in the AIA documents because it has nothing to do with that. So it must be in the Florida Contractors Manual. And then I look at the table of contents at a glance, and I scroll down and it's like business planning, nope. Licensing, nope. Financial management, nope. Risk management, yeah. So risk management is chapter 4. So now I go to chapter 4, and it says risk management, and this chapter has a table of contents. I'm going to take a picture of it so I can show you what it looks like. It's a 2-page table of contents. And Now I'm just going to look through it. So far it's taken me very little time to get to this point. I read the question. It's obvious that it's the most likely choice is going to be this book. The most likely chapter is going to be risk management. So now the first subject is risk management, insurance, and bonding. And then it talks about a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, and then halfway down the list is business automobile policy, which is 410. And as I look around, there's business liability exposures. So it's going to be either in business liability exposures or business automobile policy. Okay, so it talks about the process, insurance in general, property loss, financial loss, business liability exposures, contractual liability exposures, business automobile policy, workers' comp, employee benefits, employee practices, umbrella liability, personal loss, computation of premium rates. So it's going to be either that's a property loss exposure. Okay, business liability talks about medical stuff, rental premises, that ain't it. Financial loss exposures, that's a loss of net income, it's not that. But property loss exposures, that's losses due to damage or destruction to property. All right, that looks like the right thing. So then I scroll down, I just look through this, and then it's talking about property insurance policies, computer policies, papers and records coverage, accounts receivable, installation, business automobile insurance. Okay, that's point number 6 on page 4-7. Collision with another object or vehicle overturn. That's the process. You can make your own test prep. That's how you do it. That's the whole process. You can make up your own test questions. The key here, what we're trying to do, is get used to using the index and the table of contents. But first, to get used to using the reference books you have on hand. You have 4 choices. You choose one of those 4 choices. All right? This one was obvious, fairly obvious, that it's in the contractor's manual. Risk management, kind of obvious when you look through the main table of contents. When you get into there, it gives you the general location, and then you start looking at headings of paragraphs. All right? So you go through that, and then you get right to it. This is Paul Stone. I'll be making a bunch of these. Please come back and look at the rest of them and pass the test on your first try. Please buy books from us, licensetopass.com. That's licensetopass.com. You can email me, licensetopass@gmail.com. licensetopass@gmail.com. I am on TikTok. Going to be on Instagram if you want me to. If you have any questions about anything you want me to break down having to do with the construction industry or what the heck, anything else, if I can help, I'd like to. Paul Stone, out.